Hi, how are you doing? My name is Mike Kipkorir, and I would like to talk to you about a way of planning for a new business using a very simple tool called a business model canvas. The reason why I want to talk to you about this is you've seen the way people come up with a business idea and people say, I want a business plan. I want you to write for me a business plan. And typically business plans are big documents with very many pages and very many parts. And it's really written by experts. A real business plan is actually written by an expert. What you can do as somebody new, as an entrepreneur, is to sort of have a sketch of what your business is. But it's typically a process that is very hard for many people to do. But then there's a simple way of doing it using the business model canvas. And that's what I want to show you today. Now I have my computer here, okay, over here. So if you see me looking down occasionally, I'm looking at my computer and I'm showing you how the business model canvas looks like, okay. Now, I want to talk to you about the business model canvas using a business I created in the year 2014. The business is called One Man Spanner, and we sell motorcycles. We focus on selling motorcycles. And in order to do this, I successfully used a business model canvas document, and I'll show you the actual document that I did in 2014, and I'll show you how it helped us to grow and to develop the business. So I have always felt it's a very useful document for entrepreneurs, for people starting out, and for people who want to have a certain order while trying to start their business. So this is how it looks, as you can see on your screen. So business model canvas, my business name is there, One Man Spanner. You can see it there. And you can see the date, 15th February 2014, one day after Valentine's, which I did not celebrate. Okay, and it's here. It has parts of it. So it has a part called the value proposition part. Just a minute, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay. So I want to get a red pen here. And it's in parts. So the first part here is the value proposition part. I'll tell you what a value proposition part is, what a value proposition is. And then it has a number 2 here, customer relationships. It has number 3, channels to reach your customers. It has a number 4, customer segments. It has a number 5, early adopters among your customers. I'll tell you what each of these things mean. Then number 6, key activities that we do in the business. Number 7, the actual key resources we use in the business. Number 8, our partners in the business. And number 9, our costs. And number 10, our revenue structure, how we earn money in the business. So it has these 10 parts. So remember I said this is a simple version. Imagine if it's a real business plan, it would have so much more. But for a business model canvas, just on one piece of paper, and you have these 10 items, you've sorted out everything. So I want to start describing the parts one after the other. I'll start with the value proposition. Let me use a different pen to highlight, a bluish highlighter. So value proposition, right there. Okay, and I'll zoom in a bit as well for you to see it clearly. Okay, so what was our value proposition? Our value proposition was we wanted to offer people reliable, affordable, and good-looking motorcycles. That was a very important thing, the way the motorcycles looked like. So it was very important with the way we selected those bikes. Okay, so we didn't select the most expensive bike or the most powerful bike. We just wanted bikes which fit within that value proposition, because we knew there are people who are interested in good-looking bikes, and they want those bikes to be reliable, and they want those bikes to be relatively affordable. So that's what I mean by a value proposition. So for your business, it can be anything. If you, for example, sell oranges even, okay? You've seen people sell oranges, but they've organized it in such a way that it looks different from the rest. And even if they're selling it more expensive than the others, you will still buy, because that's their value proposition. They have their customers, okay? So that's what we mean by a value proposition. And it's the reason why it's the number 1 part. Sorry, let me erase that. The reason why it is the number one part of a business model canvas is that is your starting point. Once you're very clear on what your value proposition is, then you can do almost everything else around it because you're not focusing on things which are outside of what you want to do. So I really hope I've emphasized that point of value proposition well. Now, the second part of this business model canvas is our customer relationships. Okay, so you've seen I've immediately gone to the customer. I want to know how will I be relating with the customer every day. It's very important to say this from the beginning because it shows you what you'll be doing, how you'll be engaging your customer. So for us, when we started, our customer relationship, how we wanted it, we wanted very personalized motorcycle service sessions. So when we are servicing a motorcycle for somebody, it was just not drop your bike, go away. No, we want you come, you know, come in with your bike and we tell you everything we are doing. You know, we are now changing the oil because of this. We are now changing the spark plugs. This is the part we are using. We don't use this other part because of this. And we kept educating our customers that way. Very personalized, okay? That was really a strategy that we chose. And I can tell you something, it really worked for us. I want to highlight that part in pink, okay? It really worked for us, this personalized motorcycle service sessions. It really worked for us because we started having people who really enjoyed and liked not feeling conned. You know the way you take your bike for service and you feel like you're being conned. But us wanted them to be right there, to watch everything, and for us to tell them everything we're doing so that they would see what's happening. We were lucky most of the customers really liked it as well. They used to also get the tools, participate in it, and it was interesting because that's what we really wanted. The second part of our relationship with our customers was our WhatsApp group. Okay, this part here, WhatsApp group. I'm not highlighting it very well, but this part here, our WhatsApp group of the motorcycle owners. So that when we have a new bike, when we have a new update, when people want to ride somewhere, people would call one another. We'd create a nice community of friends. So that was the second thing we did. And the third thing was to create very strong rapport and to develop genuine interest in customers that were interested in our bikes, our leads. Okay, so this third part here. Okay, a very genuine interest in the people who are interested in us or people who are referred to us. So we wouldn't just handle them as any other person. When somebody got in touch and said, so-and-so told me you sell bikes, we just wouldn't tell them, yeah, what do you want? No, we took genuine interest. Who are you? Where do you work? How do you see yourself using the bike? For what purpose? Will you be taking long trips? Will you be taking short trips? Things like those. That really helped us, and that helped us to grow our business. So the business model canvas tells you that when you focus on your customer relationships, let me move this down. When you focus on your customer relationships, you will be able to grow the rest of your business. And that's why it really highlights that part very strongly. And it leads us to the third part. This idea of channels, this part of channels, is very simple. I'll pick a different highlighter color here. I'll pick highlighter green. The idea of channels, this is the channels through which you meet your customers. Okay? So for us, it was the bike garage. Okay? That's what I'm highlighting now. Our bike garage. That would be one of our channels for engaging with our customers. The other one was a very intuitive, this thing is moving wrongly. The other thing, sorry. Yes. The other one is our intuitive and attractive website, which had everything that we do, very good photos, very good descriptions, and that really worked. And the third one was social media, and we really used it to good effect, including adverts and displays during biker events. So when there's an event somewhere, we take our bikes there to display to people. So far, I hope you're seeing that these things are done deliberately. With the value proposition, you do it very deliberately. With a customer relationship, you design the customer relationship you want. And same thing with the channel through which you reach your customers. So if, for example, if I use the same orange, the same person who sells oranges, on the customer relationship part, if it were me designing the customer relationship part for a business selling oranges, I'd say for my customer relationship, I'd want to educate my customers about where I get the oranges from. You know, when somebody comes as you're selling, I tell you, you know, I get my oranges from here. This is the reason why I get it from here. And then also I educate people about the different types. These ones are called pixies. These ones are called something else. Things like those. I feel that if you educate somebody like that, they can maybe respect what you're selling a bit more and even pay more than they would pay for any other type of orange. And as far as the channels go, if I'm selling my oranges, I would decide maybe I want to sell inside a shop as opposed to outside. Okay. The fourth part of the business model canvas is the customer segment, and I'll zoom in there. Okay, here it is, customer segments. And this is the part where you say the customers that you're targeting. Who exactly are you targeting? I'm telling you now, you can be very specific as to who you target in your business. And it's very important that you're specific. Your business cannot be for everybody. If you're selling oranges, maybe you're not selling to everybody. You're selling to a particular group of people. If you want to sell outside cheaply and you don't tell people anything about the oranges, there are people who will buy. If you want to sell them a bit more expensive inside a shop and you tell people where the oranges come from and things like those, you can sell to a different group of people. So that's what customer segments means. So for us, it was individuals who just want bikes and companies that want fleets. Okay? We didn't define it very specifically at that point. And early adopters become the customers of ours who we think will take the bikes before others do. So for us, our early adopters, the one we targeted, were people who already had smaller CC bikes. Smaller CC bikes means smaller cubic capacity bikes. Put it again in other words, smaller bikes, okay? Small engine bikes. So we were targeting those ones because somebody who already has ridden a bike can understand what we mean by a reliable bike, a good looking bike and things like those. We also wanted among our early adopters to have people who work in offices. So we were not targeting border riders. We were not targeting any other kind of person. We just wanted people who work in offices because we felt that the bikes we were selling would suit them more. And finally, people who enjoy motorcycle riding as a hobby. Those were the other people we were targeting. So not somebody who says, you know, nataka kubeba cement, nataka kubeba what, you know, things like those. No. We just wanted people who wanted to enjoy motorcycles as a hobby. Those were the early adopters that we targeted, okay? And you can do the same once again in your business. Very important before I go to number 6 that you notice something, okay? I want to draw a line here, okay? This line you can see here. Everything that goes to that side where I'm pointing the arrow right now are things related with the customer, okay? You see I talked about the customer relationships, the channels, the customer segments, etc. Everything on that side of the value proposition is to do with the customer. Everything on this side, everything to this left side of the value proposition is everything to do with us internally as a business, what we will do. So this becomes your activities as a business. So that takes me to number 6. Let me go then to number 6. What are the key activities that we now do as a business? Our first key activity, number 6, in number 6 here would be the social media marketing, because nobody knew about us. Nobody knew who we were. So we wanted social media to be our key activity. So we were very present on social media, writing stories, putting up photos, giving comments. When people ask questions, we answer. A lot of that. We did a lot of that because no one knew who we were. That was what we did at the beginning. And then bike service, servicing bikes for people. That's how we got to educate very many people about who we were and what we were trying to do. And that's how we grew the people who knew about us. And then meetings with potential customers. So when somebody says, I want a meeting, that was a key activity for us. So we made sure that we scheduled the meeting and we make sure that we did the meeting. So that's this number 6, key activities, and that's what it means. If you're selling oranges, your key activities are going to be different, like cleaning the oranges, arranging the oranges, discarding the oranges, marketing, etc. You decide what the key activity is for your line of business. And they don't have to be many, honestly. Just 3, 4. Small number that makes you very clear about what exactly you do every day. Let's go to number 7, key resources. Key resources are very related to key activities. That's even why they're on the same line. It's the resources you need to do those activities. So for us to do our social media marketing, our service, and our meetings with potential customers, it was very simple. We just needed our storage space, in other words, our garage. Okay? We needed tools. We couldn't work without tools. And we needed computers with internet. Simple. That's all we did, actually. We didn't need much. Space, tools, a computer with internet. And the magic could happen from there. So those were the key resources we needed in order to be able to accomplish our key activities. Number 8, who are our partners? Who are our key partners? So remember that we talked about key activities and we talked about key resources. Okay, this one I've zoomed into here. Okay, what key partners do? Key partners help you to accomplish the things you cannot do yourself. You cannot do all the activities. You cannot have all the resources. That's why you need who? Partners. Okay? So the purpose of your key partner in your business is to be able to take care of the parts of the business that you cannot do. For example, we needed suppliers of the bikes. So we needed partners in India, where we used to get the bikes from, who could help us to supply those bikes. Okay? So we needed to form very good relationships. I personally traveled to India a few times, and I was able to develop those relationships with suppliers as a key partner that we needed to help us run the business. The other one was transporters, because transport costs when you're shipping in the bikes and when you're moving the bikes within Kenya can be very expensive. So we needed very good relationships with transporters. They were our key partners. They could help us to transport the bikes around and to transport spare parts when we get them and things like those. Okay, very important. And then finally, among the key partners was insurance agencies. We needed to have the bikes insured before they leave. Safety was a very important thing for us as well when we were starting, whereby we do not allow anyone to leave without insuring the bike. So we used to work with insurance agencies to make sure that the bikes are insured before they leave. So those were key partners to our business. And I'll give an example again. If you're a person selling oranges and you're selling them in that shop, you once again might need certain key partners. You see? Maybe you need a person who supplies you with the shelves where you stock your oranges. Maybe you can't make the shelves yourself. You need such a partner. Maybe you need somebody who supplies you with branding, you know, in order to make your place and space look fresh and nice all the time, and for people to be educated about what you do. It depends on your business, okay? So that brings us to number 9, cost structure. Before I continue, very important. I've zoomed out so that you realize that number 9, cost structure, is also on the left side of this value proposition. It's something related to you as the business person. Okay, it's the cost you incur as you do your key activities, as you work with your partners, etc. So what's in the cost structure for us? I just highlighted the main ones when we were starting. There are more than this. But when we were starting, our main cost structure was rent. Rent for the space that we were using to store the bikes and to do the bike service. That was the main cost. Adverts, our social media adverts, we used to spend money on those adverts. Salaries, to pay the people to help service the bikes. And the import process costs. It was a very important cost while bringing in the bikes. That really was the main thing related to our costs. Again, I'll compare. Say you have the same business selling oranges. What would be your costs? The rent of the space would be your cost. The cost of the person to sell, so salaries, would be a cost. Advertising, maybe you need to do, maybe you advertise also on social media, maybe. or you use any other form of advertising. Okay, maybe the costs of acquiring the oranges, maybe the costs of dealing with wastage in the oranges, etc. All those would be costs related to the business. It depends on your business. The final one, which once again I'll start by highlighting that it's on the right side. Okay, these bad arrows of mine on the right side of the value proposition. Meaning what? By now you know. It is related to the customer. Okay, so that's your revenue streams. Your revenue streams is your money, how you make your money. And for us it was very simple. Bike sales, the sales of the bikes, that's what used to make us the money. And spare parts, that's what used to make us the money. Okay, that's it. That was our revenue streams. Over time, other revenue streams started becoming more important. But when we were starting, that's it. But like the other one that was very important for us was the service costs. Because as time went by, we had a lot of demand for us to service bikes, meaning we started charging more to service bikes. So it became a very important thing. It used to make us good money. So that's basically what the structure was as far as our revenue streams were concerned. Okay, so that's it. I've talked you through number 1 to number 10 of a business model canvas, which, believe me, is really all you need to get a business started. You need a plan like this, a simple plan like this. It doesn't have to be a complicated business plan. 1 page like this. One afternoon, you sit with somebody and you do it together. The whole thing we're talking about here really is simply planning. Planning a business. That's it. You've heard the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. You heard that saying many times. And people didn't say it for nothing. It's actually true. You have to be able to plan your business. And having a plan doesn't mean having something complicated. And using a simple tool like the business model canvas, which is what I've showed you, is a very simple way for an entrepreneur to be able to plan a business and to get going. So really focus on that. This is about what? Business planning. And overall, it's just about being able to plan, prioritize, and get organized as an entrepreneur, which is essential for you.